A two-time all-conference selection, Juicy Landrum set an NCAA record this year when she made 14 three-pointers in one game against Arkansas State. The kid, who grew up in Waco, Texas, led Baylor to 4 straight Big 12 Conference regular season titles and a national title her junior year. Who knows what may have happened if the NCAA tournament had been played her senior year, but the shooter is ready to move on to a pro career. Juicy Landrum wasn't a superstar for Baylor, but she was one of the steadiest, most consistent, and smooth players in the conference. A silent assassin, Landrum made 42% of her three-point attempts her senior year at Baylor, but she proved that she could score in many ways, and that's what we're going to break down in today's episode of Film Room. Over the years, a lot of teams played either a zone or a sagging man-to-man defense against Baylor to try to take away their devastating inside game. And a big part of Landrum's job was just to be ready when opportunity arose. So in this first play we're going to show you against Kansas, Kansas is in a sagging man-to-man defense. And as we draw down into the play, you're going to see that Landrum is on the opposite side of the court, and her defender, Erzgater, is actually on the backside of Lauren Cox. Bailey Helgren for Kansas is fronting her. So there's a double team on the block on Lauren Cox, but look how open that makes Juicy Landrum on the opposite side of the court. So what does Landrum do? She spots up high on the wing, beyond the women's and men's three-point line, so it's hard for her defense to recover. And as the ball is skipped, Landrum just simply catches and shoots and does her job. But it's really because of her range. I mean, she is able to stretch the defense so far. She shot 41% from three over her sophomore, junior, and senior years. And when she catches, there's no hesitation. She's ready to catch and shoot. So Juicy Landrum benefited from some great teammates, there's no doubt. Baylor, incredibly talented, they're a balanced team. Everyone plays their role. But one of the things that makes Landrum special is her understanding of court spacing. Against Kansas State, on this play, Landrum is on the left wing. But the way the play is set up is Taya Cooper feeds the ball inside to Nalissa Smith, who rips through and attacks the basket. And because she does that, Dee Richards' defender has to rotate to double team. So Smith passes to Richards, and then Landrum's defense, number 24, has to rotate to Richards, and that leaves Juicy Landrum open. I mean, look where Landrum is, the court spacing. She's too far for her defender to recover, and she has plenty of time for a great look at a three-pointer. And she gets an unselfish pass from Dee Richards. And as we look from the other end, because Smith attacked and drew the double team, and then because she made the right pass, and then Richards made the right pass, Landrum has a great look, and she's ready, and she delivers. I mean, this is definitely a team three-point shot. On this play, we're going to show you a simple ball reverse against the Oklahoma 2-3 zone. And I want to show you quickly how a 2-3 zone shifts and why Landrum read the situation extremely well. She's on the left wing and has great court spacing. She is well beyond the three-point line to create that court spacing. So as the ball is passed to the right wing, the forward on the zone comes up to defend the wing. That's number 12, Moon Urson. So she comes up until the guard can get over, and then she bumps off to the guard and then goes back to her low position in the zone. So as that low forward bumps back, she tells the center, now you bump up and you guard Lauren Cox. So it's good communication with the Oklahoma defense as they shift. And you can see Taylor Robertson in the middle. She's fronting Lauren Cox right now, but as the ball is reversed out top, that's her job to take the player out top. So that means that backside forward doesn't have anybody else to guard. It's her responsibility to get out and guard that wing. But look how far out Juicy Landrum is. That forward has probably been told that if the guard is well above free throw line extended, it's the guard's job to get there. Or maybe she's just afraid to go out and defend because Baylor has such a great inside game. Either way, Juicy Landrum shows her outstanding range and her ability to knock down the spot up three-pointer. And she's set up by the great ball reversal from the Baylor offense. So Juicy Landrum is an excellent three-point shooter with great range, but that's not all she can do. Against Oklahoma State, this is a play where the play is breaking down and she has to create off the dribble. So as the shot clock is winding down, Landrum gets a handoff from Richards, and it takes her a bit to control the basketball. But as she gets it under control, she attacks and she makes a beautiful crossover move, changes direction against Vivian Gray, and she's able to rise up and score at the end of the shot clock. It's so important to not only have that great three-point shot, but to be able to create off the dribble. And that's what Juicy Landrum shows she can do on this play. Another one of Landrum's strengths is running the floor, making that quick transition from defense to offensive threat. On this play against Kansas State, Landrum takes advantage of the fact that her teammate Lauren Cox runs the floor extremely hard to the block to draw the defense. So as the shot goes up, you're going to see that Landrum is going to sprint the left lane, gets out nice and wide like you're supposed to in transition. And since Cox has hustled back, Christiana Carr had to help with her before Peyton Williams is back to defend. So it allows Landrum just to catch and score in transition. Juicy Landrum makes all of these shots look easy. Why? She's smart, she's prepared, she's confident in her shot, and she never gets sped up. She's never in a rush. She doesn't get rushed, but she's very fast too. See where Juicy Landrum is, number 20 on the opposite side of the court. She's in help side defensive position, but as soon as she sees the rebound go long, just watch how fast she gets down the floor in transition. Kim Mulkey definitely loves that kind of hustle and appreciates it as she goes to the sideline. So Juicy Landrum moves well off the ball. We're going to show an example of her setting and using screens. So this play against Oklahoma State, she's going to screen across on the block for Dee Richards. And Oklahoma State has a little miscommunication. Both defenders go with Richards, so Landrum recognizes and makes them pay. So she's going to come off the staggered screen for the shot. And she's going to read how Lauren Cox's defender hedges out so she can create space away from her to make room for her three-point shot. I mean, look at that range. Look how far she is beyond the three-point line. As we take a look at this zoomed in angle, she recognizes that the post defender is hedging out. and the guard is slow to get there. So again, she creates that space. She steps away from that post defender. She extends well beyond the three-point line. She's very comfortable from WNBA range. So here's another example of Juicy Landrum reading a screen. She's number 20 in green. They're at Kansas State. It's an inbounds play on the far side. And Landrum is going to go down to the block, and she'll receive a double screen from Caitlin Bickle and Lauren Cox. And her read is, what is her defender doing? This time her defender is trailing her. So the read is to curl off that screen from Lauren Cox. She makes a hard curl into the lane, exactly what she's supposed to do. She has her defender behind her. She rises up for that mid-range jumper, great vertical jump, smooth shot, hits the mid-range, does exactly what she's supposed to do off that screen. And pro scouts will want to know that Landrum can do more than knock down threes, and she can. We're going to go through several reads on some on-ball screens to show you her versatility. Against Kansas State, she takes the ball from the point guard and dribbles over to the right wing. And in this play, Nalissa Smith is going to set a ball screen on the top side. Now, Smith doesn't quite get set, but here's the read for Landrum. She sees that Smith's defender, Mackey, is playing back to help on the drive. And even though the screen isn't quite set, Landrum is able to use enough of a burst of speed to get around her defender and use the screen. And then when she gets around, she's going to split Smith's defender and Cox's defender, Peyton Williams, and floats into the lane for a great finish on this play. On this next replay, you can see as she comes around the screen, she has the ability to be physical because she leans in and controls her defender as she comes around the screen. I like this angle from the other end because you can see it from her viewpoint. As she comes around the screen, she has an open lane. And if she can get past Williams, she has the length to release the ball as far away as possible from the shot blocker who's rotating over. And from under the basket, you can actually see that Peyton Williams slaps her hand after the shot. So Landrum shows some good strength and control to finish in the paint. Here's another example of a similar play. This time Landrum on the right wing again against Kansas State. This time Smith comes to set the screen on the top side, the ball screen. This time her defender moves up to show a hedge, and Landrum makes a super quick jab step and then refuses the screen and explodes to the rim. Again, she's able to score over the help defender, Peyton Williams. So here's another ball screen on the right wing. This is against TCU this time. And this time the post defender is back. And so when Landrum comes around the ball screen, TCU's defense is actually packed in the paint. So she makes this really nice little hesitation dribble and then attacks the seam, goes into traffic, doesn't force, kicks it to Dee Richards for the open jumper. Very good decision making in traffic. From the opposite end, you can see it from Juicy's perspective. She's going to go right into the crowded defense, but she had a 2.6 assist to turnover ratio this year. That is outstanding. And it just shows what a great decision maker is that she is with the basketball, whether she's in traffic or not. Beautiful pass here out of traffic to set up Richards. As we zoom in at this angle, you can see the traffic around her and the great decision that she makes. This is going to be so important as she goes to the next level with the increased intensity of defense that she'll face to make those kind of decisions. And yes, she can operate on the left wing too. This time against TCU, it's Lauren Cox that will set the ball screen, and her defender slides out to help on Landrum coming off the screen, and Landrum makes the right read. She slides that bounce pass just perfectly to Lauren Cox for the pick and roll. From this angle underneath the basket, you can see how low Landrum is as she comes off the screen. Her shoulders are low, her knees are bent, her head is up. She doesn't raise up, and then she recognizes the defense and just delivers the perfect bounce pass to Cox on the pick and roll. This is just beautiful execution of a pick and roll, reading the defense, take advantage of what the defense gives you, setting up Cox with a beautiful pass. So Landrum can drive to the rim. She can make the right pass off the screen. We've already shown you her ability to hit the three-point shot. A couple of last examples here are going to show her mid-range game. Against Texas Tech at home, she's back over there on the right wing, and the screener is going to come up, Queen Egbo, to set the screen, and her defender is going to be dropped way back. And so Landrum notices that and sees that her defender gets caught up in the screen, so she just makes the right read. She dribbles right to the elbow and pulls up for an uncontested mid-range jumper. So the last one, this time again from the left wing, again, it's Lauren Cox that comes to set the screen. This time, Cox's defender is going to stay with her, so there's no pass there. So instead, Landrum dribbles right to the elbow and elevates for the jumper. That ability to hit the mid-range jumper, we've shown you her versatility. All of that's going to be important as she advances to the next level.